Okay, Mom, no worries on the alarm. It was just that the incubator thermostat got a little bit low. Faye's fine. She's a little low on O2, so we still got her on some oxygen, but that's all right. She's still got her incisions open. We're going to go ahead and close those up. But in the meantime, let's stretch out big, 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 big. Look at you. Say hi, Mommy. Hi, Mommy. Look at that. Faye can touch her own nose. Faye can touch her own nose and her own mouth. Wow, look at that. So adorable. So adorable. My gosh, Faye, you're so adorable. Okay. So I've got an eye covering over Faye. Just so that she can sleep with the bright lights. And we're going to go back in. Faye still has her incisions open, so we are going to have to close those. And you see this one and this one, maybe. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to go and mix up our special skin solution for Faye. And then we're going to come back and we are going to close those wounds. Okay, and we're back. I've got some Inhibit X here. I just want to show you the can, just in case Mom would want to look up this product to see what it is. It's always nice to know exactly what is on your baby. It is important if you need any other work done. It's important to know that Inhibit X is in those incisions. If by some chance, you know, the hands were to tear and someone else needs to fix it, they would need to know, maybe need to know if Inhibit X is there, depending on what they do to fix it. So I'm just showing Mom here what is going in prior to the silicone to close the incision. Alright, on that note, we're just gonna shake this up a bit. I thought I had a container out and in there, but I don't. Okay, so here's our Inhibit X. It is just a clearish liquid, kind of like our cleaner. Alright, we're gonna have to take you up here a little bit. Hi, Faye. I keep wanting to call her Flo, and I'm not sure why. Okay, going up, going up, going up. There we go. Okay, now Faye is at my head level where I can see what I'm doing. We need to wash out Faye's incisions just to make sure anything that may have been on the needle, the metal, that kind of thing, just to make sure that it is not in there and going to prohibit us from fixing this incision. Okay, so this is Novox Gloss. I'm just going to go in here and I'm going to clean this out with a little bit of that. And I'm actually going to use a new sponge for the other hand. No need to wipe whatever might be in one into the other. So we're just going to wipe that out good and toss those so we don't use them again accidentally. Okay, so the other thing I like to do, Mom, is a little bit of 100% acetone. Acetone does not react with or do anything to paint silicone or anything silicone related, so we are safe to use it. It's not like I'm going to smear it all over the baby by any means. We're just going to go, I like to wet a sponge and then squeeze it onto a little stick. And then we're just going to go in here and we're going to wipe these out with acetone. And I just wanted to point out that there are little chunks of silicone that come out. That is because, to an extent, armatures tear the silicone. There's not a whole lot we can do about that. Unless we were to cut the entire baby's arm open, and you can see we kind of get a little bit of extra. So we're going to go ahead and get a new swab. And we're just going to squeeze the swab, squeeze the sponge around the swab. I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is cleaned out good. Part of the silicone coming out, I mean, you have to make room. You can't just stick something in silicone and then not, you know, have any displacement whatsoever. Okay, all done with that. All done with that. So now we do the Inhibit X. So when I dip my sponge in here, I make sure to wring it out on the side. This stuff will literally go everywhere. So what we're going to do, oh, the incubator's angry. It's getting, okay. So what you want to do with Inhibit X, I mean, there's some conjecture around this. Some people say let it sit for half an hour. Some people say as soon as it flashes off, you're good to go. I like to do 3 coats. Blow on in a minute, let it flash off. Put it there. And the 3rd coat. Okay, we're going to do the same to the other side here. Okay. And medical role play aside, guys, I literally just cannot work silicone with gloves on. I have tried. And if you see, there's a little more silicone still coming out. So we're going to go ahead and put a little more Inhibit X in here. Just kind of get those little bits out of there. That's like I said, kind of the displacement of the knot in the hand. So there's that. Okay. And this may or may not show on video. If it doesn't, I'll cut it out. But I'm going to go ahead and get some silicone down into the first wound here. Let's do this one again. I am bending her hand in a most awkward way, but it's so I can see what I'm doing here. Alright, so first things first, we have to get silicone down inside. So what I mean by that is pushing it down in the hole where the armature is. We want to make sure that the armature is sealed into place. So we're just going to stick that all the way down in there. And we'll take a new swab, because when that wound closes, you see there's a little bit of silicone left on top. We wipe that off. We don't want any little drips or openings or anything of the sort. Alright, this one's being difficult about closing up, so we're going to have to bend our hand in such a way as to make it close. I may have to take some other measures here. Tell you what, we're going to get just a little bit more silicone. I mean, every surgery has its risks, you know. Every time I do this, there's a chance that something will go wrong. It turns out that silicone surgery is essentially just like real surgery in that sense, that, you know, mistakes can happen, and it can be really damaging. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take her armature and I'm going to hard bend it here to keep her hand curled together. Now, as per usual, ran out of swabbies, so we'll get some more of them going here, because there is some silicone here that I want to take off. I don't want any clear silicone sticking out on the surface. I don't want to create bumps and grooves that aren't there from the sculpt. Okay. I know you can't see this, but it looks pretty good. And we're just going to let Faye sit for a couple of hours and recover. And I think that I think she'll be okay. I think our wounds are closed up pretty nice. Just going to check this one again because it had a little bubble there. There we go. Okay, so sometimes we got to come back and we got to put more silicone. It happens with armature because of how deep the armature goes. In other words, this isn't just a surface tear. This is all the way down in the arm. So sometimes that silicone will run down the length of the armature. That's great. That's awesome when that happens, because it means, first of all, that I've missed some down in there, but second of all, that it's sealed up anyway. If I've done my job right, we won't have to do it a second time, but I'm not above doing it a second time. Mistakes happen, and fixing them is the key to a successful surgery of any kind. So we're just going to leave Faye's eye covering on and let her rest and sleep a little bit. I'm going to get a progress report out to Mom. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, came back to check on Faye. She is doing very good. I'm just going to move some things here real quick. Okay. She is smiling and playing with her mouth. I think she's enjoying her new bones. So I'm just kind of going to go through. I apologize, Mom. When I came through and matted her incisions, I completely did not remember to record them. So here are her wounds, all sealed up. They are good to go. You can pull these things to the ends of the earth and they are not going to open back up. There you go, Faye. You can have that one back. Let's pick this one out and show Mommy. Okay. Now, obviously, if you spread them far enough, you will, you know, kind of see where it's at. But generally, sitting in the wrinkle, that's why we make the incision. The reason we make that incision there is so that you can't really see it or it's not noticeable. We use creases to do that. And as you can see, the arms do. It's kind of funny. You could almost make a video if you cut off one part. You could make a video of her moving on her own. Just playing with her lips. Faye is doing much better. She doesn't need her oxygen anymore. She is outside of observation, ready for discharge. So we're going to go ahead and get her clothes back on her. I'm going to powder her first. So I'll go ahead and powder her for Mom. And we're going to see about maybe brushing through some hair here. I know that it will get messed up in shipping, but it's nice to see baby all nice. So I'll be right back. I'm going to get a baby brush and some powder, and we are going to give Faye a powder and see if we can straighten out her hair a little bit. Okay, Mom, we're just going to transition her from the incubator here. Okay. We'll get her back into a regular bassinet. Get in focus. Okay, Mom, we are going to powder Miss Faye. I'm going to use, it's called Just Matte, if it'll focus now. Okay, so Just Matte is the brand. This is from D3 Creations. They also have these really, really nice pump bottles. If you can find one like this, by all means get it. They save your powder when you're only maintenancing like nobody's business. Wonderful stuff. Okay, so we're actually going to use the pump bottle for Faye. And I'm also going to use a fan brush. So we'll go ahead and put that in there. And I'm going to leave her hospital blanket down in here to catch the powder. Okay. I'm just gonna take her extra one out here. There we are. Okay. So I think what we're gonna do, okay, I think we're just going to put her bottom half out of shot, and I will powder her bottom off camera here. Okay, so usually when I start, I actually will flip baby over and start on the back side. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to flip Miss Faye over. There we are. Get her resituated here. Okay, so check, make sure we ain't go out of focus again. So the sprayer, you turn it all the way to the side and a full pump. You see, you just get a little bit out of there. Then you can just kind of mix that around. And generally, I like to smooth it with my hands. So just get a little bit in here. And I absolutely love Just Matte. I can't say enough nice things about it. I can't wait for you to feel it. I don't know if you've ever used it or not, but feeling is believing. And hey, the matting powder that you have might be just as good, and I'll be interested to know when you get Faye back if it is. I'm always interested in knowing, you know, kind of what kind of products are out there and what's good to use, because Lord knows some things aren't always in stock. So it's nice to know what is a good alternative. D3 Creation seems to be pretty good about keeping their powder in stock. Put it this way, I haven't tried to order yet and they're out. That's more than can be said for Silicone Velvet products, really. They're hard to come by. And I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about them. They're a perfectly acceptable product. Since finding the Just Matte, I just don't prefer them, is the thing. Okay, so make sure she's all powdered up back here. And then we'll flip her over. Hi, honey. Your smile is so beautiful. Okay, so again, I kind of like to use my hand because I can feel where the baby is still clammy. Now the face and the ears get clammy. It doesn't take a lot of this. A little bit goes a really, really long way. So we just want to make sure that we get everything powdered so she feels nice when she goes home. I don't like spraying it in the face. I don't know necessarily what it is. It probably wouldn't hurt a darn thing. It's probably just a meism. But it just doesn't feel right to squirt a baby in the face with powder, so I don't. And I know that may sound really silly, given that I do surgery on these little guys, but there it is. It's just a meism. Okay. She has some hair stuck to her mouth. You know what? We are gonna go ahead and just put right around her lips here. Okay, we do a feel test. Make sure she's not clammy anywhere. And she's not. So we are going to go ahead, whoop. See, and this is what we have the brush for. Because the brush can spread instead of soak up like your hand would. And then you just kind of all over. Whoop. Okay. She is feeling good, Mama. Very, very good. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and powder her bottom then. And I'll come back and we'll get her dressed. And I'm going to have to pack her in a new box. They sort of kind of like destroyed the one that you shipped her to me in. Thank goodness that we put extra packaging in there. Okay. So, actually, let me get rid of brush and I will mat her bottom half after we brush her hair. So usually I will use hair conditioner. Today, we're just going to use some distilled water. I just want to keep Faye, babies are sensitive. I want to keep her on the same products that have been working for her. So we're just going to do that. And before I even really wet her hair, I think a lot of it could actually be straightened out just kind of with a light brushing. And I would be correct. So if you can avoid getting the hair wet as much as possible, that is always best. I put conditioner in hair just because the hair dries out. Adding that moisture is a help, but you really got to watch the conditioning products that you use. So best practice, if you're a collector and you don't do this for a living, if you will, best practice is actually just to use distilled water, just like Faye's mom does. That way it doesn't deposit minerals on the hair or stain it or, anything crazy like that. Okay. Little Miss Faye. Okay. So I'm actually going to flip her over after I move the water out. Okay. I'll flip her over and see about the back of her hair here. Okay, Miss Faye. So let's see, kind of how the rooting pattern went. You know, like I said, her hair kind of got really messy during surgery. So we just want to kind of clean that up a little bit. And as you can see, a dry brush does go a long way in brushing the hair without pulling it out. So we're just kind of very gently, and don't take your brush and scrape it this way. That's not okay. That completely defeats the purpose of the soft bristles. So we're just gonna brush that down a little bit there. Okay. And Faye's hair is starting to look pretty nice. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm starting to see somewhat of a rooting pattern here. Alright. There we are. Okay. Her hair is pretty well brushed out. Looking nice. I'm gonna get a bunch of hair on the brush. That's good. She is very well rooted. Okay. I may come back with a toothbrush and some water and style her hair and wrap her head for Mom. But for right now, she definitely looks much better, much refreshed. And she can play with her nose and her lips again. Say, "Bye, Mommy. See you when I get back. I'm coming home tomorrow." Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Bye.